Hi, 6th graders. Today we're going to look at changing metric units. By the end of this lesson, you want to be able to change between metric units. The biggest thing to remember is that metric units are all based on powers of 10, basically like our number system, meaning that changing between units is as simple as multiplying or dividing by powers of 10 or moving the decimal place. Meaning, so the big idea is every time we have a group of 10 in the metric system, we can regroup to the next unit. Okay, so our base unit is basically like our ones. Okay. Okay, these are things like meters, liters, and grams. Okay. Now, if we have 10 of one of these items, so say we have 10 grams, we can regroup that into what is called a decagram. So 1 decagram is 10 grams. If we have 10 decagrams, then we can regroup into the hundreds place, and this would be a hecto. 10 groups of 100 gives us in the thousands, and this is one that we are familiar with, meaning the kilo. So realistically, we don't use hecto and deca very often, but they are actually there. Going back, we can break down our ones into tenths, just like in our decimal place. This is a deci, so like a decimal. See the connection? Breaking it into tenths. Alright, then we have hundredths, and this is centi. You think like a century is 100 years. And then we have our thousandths, which is milli. So if we have 1,000 millimeters, that would equal 1 meter. If we have, so 1,000 millimeters would equal 1 meter. 1,000 meters would equal 1 kilometer. Okay. And the nice thing is this, we can count on here to figure out our decimal places. So say we're going from millimeter to meter. Here's where our decimal point is. We would go 1, 2, 3, so that means on our number we would go 3 decimal places to the left. Say you were converting from kilograms to grams. We would go here, we'd count 1, 2, 3, and we would go 3 decimal places to the right. So if you put your pencil on whatever unit you're starting with and move to the one that you are trying to convert to, that tells you which direction to move the decimal point and how many decimal points to move it. So centimeters to millimeters, we start here, we go 1 to the right. Millimeters to centimeters, we go 1 to the left. Meters to centimeters, we go 2 to the right. Centimeters to meters, we go 2 to the left. Kind of slick. So to change from larger to smaller, you can multiply, or you can use the chart. Okay, so 26 centimeters to millimeters. So if you remember, centi was right next to milli. Okay, so we're starting with centimeters. Millimeters is one place to the right. So in 26, our decimal point is right after the 6. We're going to move it one place over, which means we're going to add a 0. So this becomes 260 millimeters. Alright, so I want you to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure out the next 3 on your own. Okay, so kilometers to meters. So remember we had kilo, and the hard thing is I can't show you on the table. And then we had hecto, deca, and then we had meters. So we're starting with kilometers. 1, 2, 3 to the right. So here's 2. We go 1, 2, 3. We add in our zeros. So this becomes 2,000 meters. To change from smaller to larger, we can divide, or we can move our decimal point to the left. So if we have milli, centi, deci, and liter, we're starting with milliliters, 1, 2, 3 to the left. So with 513, the decimal point's right here, 1, 2, 3 to the left, this becomes 0.513, or 513 thousandths of a liter. Same thing here. If we have milligrams, centigrams, deci, and then grams, we're starting with milli, we're going 1, 2, 3 again. Here's our decimal point, 1, 2, 3. This is actually the same as 5 3/10 of a gram. Now I want you to pause the video and try these two word problems on your own and see if you can do them, and then check your work. I swam 300 meters on Monday, 420 meters on Tuesday, and 580 meters on Wednesday. How many kilometers did I swim during those 3 days? Well, first let's add up how many meters we swam. So we had 300, 420, 580. So 8 and 2 is 10, 3, 4 and 4 is 8, plus 5 gives us 13. So we swam 1,300 meters. But that's not the question, what the question is asking. It's asking how many kilometers or kilometers. Well, there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so we're moving from smaller to bigger, so we're going to divide. Meters is 3 away from kilometers, if you go to your table. So we go 1, 2, 3. This is the same as 1.3 kilometers. It is suggested that a person drink about 1.9 liters of water daily. If I drink 1,650 milliliters of water so far today, how much more do I need to drink to reach the daily recommended amount? So what I might do is start by changing my liters to milliliters. Milli means 1,000, so I'm going to move 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. So 1.9 liters is the same as 1,900 milliliters. If I drink 1,650, I just need to figure out how many more. I'm going to count up 1,650 to 1,700, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1,650. So I add 50 to get 1,700, and then I'm going to add 200 to get the 1,900. So now I'm going to take my 200, my 50, add those together. So I'm going to need 250 milliliters more that I need to drink today. Don't forget to leave a question on Edmodo. I'm sure there's probably going to be some questions, and that's okay. Metric is totally different than anything that we've ever done before, so just make sure that you go ahead and ask your questions.